How's it going, everyone? It's Milwaukee coming back at you once again. And today, we're going to be discussing Star Wars, The High Republic, A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland. Let's get into it. The cover art is done by Peter Antonsen, with interior art by Ian McCraig. A Test of Courage is a middle grade book written by Justina Ireland, featuring a cast of young characters who, while traveling to Starlight Beacon for the opening ceremony, get stranded on a planet known as Wevo and have to survive and find their way off the planet. It really is that simple. Now, as for who that cast of characters is, I'll start off with Vernestra Rwoh, who is a 16-year-old Jedi Knight, the youngest person to become a Jedi Knight in the history of the Order. She's accompanied by a Padawan known as Imri Kantaros, who's struggling with the loss of his master, and they're chaperoning the daughter of a senator named Avan Starros, who is a whiz kid who is good with technology, and her droid J6. They are also accompanied by a character who is the son of an ambassador named Honesty Weft. And all these characters find themselves stranded on the planet, and they got to find a way back to the Republic before the Nihil find them. From here on out, I will be spoiling the story, so if you don't want to be spoiled and you just want to see the score, jump ahead to the timestamp on the screen. Well, as you could probably tell from my short breakdown of the story, there's not really much here to work with. After all, it is a middle grade book, large print, like 200 pages or something like that. I personally read it on a Kindle, so I'm buying all these middle grade books on a Kindle because I'm trying to buy them for as cheap as possible. Ain't nobody trying to buy middle grade books out here. But I did commit, reading the whole High Republic, so I got to get them all right. And I will say that as far as my reading has gone thus far, this is the first dud. I've only 2 books in. Both of these books were released on the same day. And this is the weaker of the 2. But it is middle grade, so I can't really, bash it too much. Because the reason why I didn't like it as much was because it was kind of dull, because it was written for children. And, the young characters, they're kind of annoying, especially Avan Starros, who is just, spoiled daughter of a senator who, is just real annoying. But of course, she's like the best at everything with technology, right? She has her own personal droid known as J6, who she, of course, made enhancements to. So the droid's not your typical droid. And, whatever, right? It's just, the stars of the show are the Jedi characters, in particular Vernestra Rwoh and Imri, who they're going through their own struggles. The son of the ambassador, Honesty Weft, he's a real wet blanket. I hope we never see him again in the story. But I guess he served his purpose. So this book's only real purpose is to introduce us to the character of Vernestra Rwoh, who sort of becomes like Mrs. High Republic, because she goes on to, star, well, maybe not star, but she appears in a lot of stuff. Comic books, adult novels, young adult novels, perhaps future middle grade novels, who knows. She really is kind of like the face of the High Republic, especially when you consider the fact that she's like the only surviving character who we know of that makes it to the show The Acolyte. And as a result, it kind of ruins the character for me, because she is a fun character, but she goes from this like this kind of happy-go-lucky green skin, purple hair character to this stoic, whatever this is, and it really ruined the character for me. And yeah, that's all I got to say about Vernestra for now. And of course, another quirk about Vernestra is that she's so paranoid about other Jedi seeing her lightsaber whip for some reason, as though the very sight of it is going to send people to the dark side. Whatever. It's not like it's the first whip we've ever seen in Star Wars, right? And of course, by the end of the novel, Vernestra ends up taking Imri on as her Padawan, and so it sets up that storyline going forward. So I guess you can look forward to that, but that's really the only thing that majorly happens in this book. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Star Wars, The High Republic, A Test of Courage, a 2 out of 5. It was a dull read, but then again, it was a middle grade book, so they're not exactly trying to, challenge you with the story. It's very paint by numbers. The way things work out is all just coincidence. Frustrating for me. If you're looking for a book to skip, I would say this is the one. But you got to make that judgment yourself. Until next time, I'll see you there.